Well, hi there. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing absolutely... Oh, wait a second here. Okay, there. Hopefully you're feeling absolutely peachy keen fantastic. Beat him up! Okay, there we go. Cool. So this is going to be a long play of Lost in Vivo, also Wave. Yeah, it's going to be a long play of Lost in Vivo. Oh, man. I did skip a little bit ahead because in the very intro, you're just like running through some tunnels. Now this... Hi, Pupper! Oh my god, get the Pupper! And then it gets dragged away because depression therapy. Anyway, so this is going to be something a little bit different for me. I don't normally do like a whole long play commentary, but I was considering doing like a short series on Lost in Vivo. But the thing is that the game isn't that long. It's like an hour and 50 minutes. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that because I think I was maybe in the tunnels before this for like 5 minutes. So close to 2 hours. And yeah, it's supposed to be a really creepy game and really scary. I have to admit, I've played it too much now. I have gone through this game on several occasions, and it's a game that I actually enjoy a lot. I never beat it on like New Game Plus until after this, but I have played through this game on several occasions, basically trying to do speed runs and trying to get further along. I think you can complete it pretty quickly. This wasn't my best run. I ended up dying 3 times. But yeah, this game is pretty cool. I'm really into like Silent Hill type games and games that include like Silent Hill type stuff in them and like themes and like that. But I think a lot of times they don't actually handle it very well. I think sometimes they end up actually handling it really poorly. And like you really need to like have like, I think great environments. There's something about Silent Hill environments that I actually find, I almost want to say kind of comforting. I don't really know if comforting is actually the right word for that, but like I don't know, just like something about like spooky monsters running at me is just kind of fun, especially in a game like this. And see, I got a big hammer, so I'm ready to deal with all the monsters. Also, I'm just gonna tell you, like, this game is not very hard. I think it's also pretty straightforward. See, like, one of the things with actual Silent Hill games is that they tend to give a lot of things that will make you feel lost or unsure about where exactly you are. And this one, honestly, it's really straightforward. I don't really think there's too many parts of this game where, like, where it basically is almost like a straight path forward. There's a couple of times where you got to move around a little bit more than just going straight. But yeah, and part of the reason I also wanted to do this is because we just finished Lunacid a little bit ago, and that was this game is made by the same guy who made Lunacid. I think it's Akuma Kira. Yeah, but and this game is one of those games that I occasionally just come back to. Like I said, I just think it's pretty fun. It's got a nice Silent Hill-y type vibe. I think I've beaten this 4 or 5 times. I'm not 100% sure. You also find that because I'm in New Game Plus, I have guns right now. You really don't need guns for most of the enemies in the game. With a lot of the enemies in the game, if you can time it right, you can just whack on them with a hammer or the knife, and it usually works perfectly fine. You normally don't have too many issues. But you can see, like, yeah, like it's very creepy, very rusty, very Silent Hill kind of inspired, and stuff like that. I think, I don't even necessarily know if I want to call it a mistake, but one of the reasons I kind of love this game is that I have a big sledgehammer that I can swing really fast. I do also have the knife, which it might be a little faster, maybe, but I personally just like the sledgehammer a lot. And like there's all these weird environments, and there's like also this like kind of backstory about like you're like depressed and like you have body image issues, and going through this weird experience is supposed to help you with all that stuff. And yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting game overall. I will say, I think this is kind of more of a thing with Silent Hill. I think the thing with a lot of Silent Hill is that people don't tend to actually do the psychological part of it very well. What people tend to do is they tend to do a lot of Like they really try to mimic that, but like they never really do a great job with it, I think. Like as in like other Silent Hill games try to mimic, specifically Silent Hill 2. And I don't necessarily think they always do the best job. Although Silent Hill 3 is probably one of my favorites, partially just because I really like the protagonist in that one. I really like Heather Mason. I think she's cool. I like that she like talks back to the people around her and that she's not just like immediately like falling over. She's just like no, she's kind of hardcore, and I well, hardcore might not be the right word, but you know, like she talks back. She has a personality, and she's like really cool like that. And I think she's really interesting. There's also this like kind of similar thing going on here where this game has a lot to do with like regret and you know, allowing the one trick to stop eating, just die. It really kind of pushes you back. Oh, also look, it's the rise of the spooky. So we did a little dance for her. I will also say that this game is probably easier than it maybe should be in certain parts. Partially because like there's just because of how effective the melee weapon is, I guess the easiest way to explain this, how effective the melee weapon is, it makes it really easy to just save your ammo for when you need it, because you'll get a decent amount of ammo throughout the game. Just save your ammo for when you need it and just melee everything and then just kind of run through. I mean, and honestly, in most of the places until like the very end of the game, there aren't even really enough enemies to like keep you like contained, really. They're pretty easy to get around. But, you know, I think the environments are pretty cool, and I think I like the vibes that they're going for. Akuma Kira really makes a lot of pretty interesting horror games. One could maybe even argue that Lunasa, to a certain extent, has, like, horror themes and vibes. I know that, like, maybe they're not technically horror games, according to some things, but I don't really care. I enjoy using hammer. I enjoy my weird action elements in an environment that's supposed to be scary. Part of the reason I like Cry of Fear so much is because the guns are so good in that game that it kind of takes away a lot from the horror, because you're just like bang, 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 and you just kill everything really fast, and that's really fun. And I greatly enjoy that. Oh, that was us running over the lady that's going to become a ghost here in a minute. You'll see her. Don't worry, you'll see her. But I think also just like focusing on themes like regret is just kind of pretty interesting. I mean, I think a lot of games try to do that psychological horror stuff. I just don't think that a lot of games are super effective with it. Here, let me move the mouse over here. Ah, there you go. Train stop. But yeah, you can also probably kind of tell that I'm not like super terrified of this game because sorry, I want some I have a chocolate Easter egg here, so that's good. Anyway, I'm not super terrified of this game. I kind of treat it like I like the themes and I like the sort of spookiness of things around, but it's not a particularly, I don't know. I think the one thing that's done really well in this in terms of like actual kind of scariness is like the sound design. Like the music when we were in the tunnels, I think that was pretty great. Hi, how are you? Doing good? Imagine the dream. I will also say that lighting is really good in this. I think some of the models start to look a little bit too much just like blobs, kinda. and it kind of feels like they need I don't know, like I don't know if it's texture or definition, but a lot of them just almost look like, well, at first I thought maybe they were like, some of them were supposed to be like actual like abortion-y type things, like these weird meat. By the way, this is kind of funny, just me just doing this. It's pretty funny. Just swinging around like I don't know. There's a lot of imagery in this that kind of makes me think of like birth and childcare and like body image stuff, and I think that's obviously somewhat intentional. It's also one of those things where if you know what you're doing, you can kind of get around a lot of the things. I think the sound design and like the look of things is great. Some of the monsters I think are really great too, because I think they're supposed to be certain kind of creatures. They're kind of supposed to be like you know, like at least it parts in the game, they're kind of pushing this whole body image thing and all that other stuff, and I think that's kind of an interesting way to do that, or an interesting set of enemies. Also, so in this part, all the reasons it might kill you really is if you're either A, being really slow and trying to fight the thing. Well, I'll get into that a little bit, but the main thing I'm doing here is I'm just going ahead and unlocking the door before we actually have to go in here, because by doing this, we're going to save ourselves a bunch of time, and we're also going to make it pretty safe for ourselves moving forward, making it really easy to just kind of almost skip over part of the boss fight and things like that. Well, boss fight isn't the right word, but you'll see what I mean here in a second. Easter. I was pointlessly dating the video, saying I did this right after Easter. Yeah. And then I'm kind of waiting here. See, because what I want to do is I want to show you the monster that is going to be chasing us. She ends up taking a little bit longer to spawn and be there than I thought she would. But, you know, don't worry, she'll come. And you can see me, like, at the time we're going, like, where is she? Come on. I'm hoping if I give her the signal, she'll show up. But, you know, I don't know. She'll get there eventually. But, yeah, I think that, like, this music is pretty good. I think Akuma Kira does some pretty good music in a lot of his... Yeah, and then she finally shows up. Yeah, and so obviously you don't actually kill her, but if you hit her enough, she will turn into that body bag thing, and you can kind of you can kind of, so basically she's chasing you, she's too close, and you have to get away from her, but you're having a hard time. If you put enough damage into her, she'll despawn like that. But yeah, don't you think that the sounds she's making, those are good sounds. Those are like weird, kind of grungy, creepy sounds that she's making. So it's like, oh man, that's creepy. I don't want to be chased. And then it immediately goes back into this kind of music, and you're just like, oh, okay, bye. Basically, this lady's gonna chase us in all of these areas. If you want my honest advice as to what to do with her, just ignore her. Like, it's pretty easy. You can kind of just like juke past her real easy. You don't gotta try super hard to get past her. And oh look, you can even ride an escalator. Man, look at the texture on that. Why is the subway so depressing? Is this a depression subway? Is that what we're really learning? But it's okay. I will admit, having been on certain metro type systems, they're not always like the nicest or the cleanest. Although some of these places, it seems like they are deliberately made to be like depressing. Like brutalist architecture from the Soviet Union, but only the worst that gets thrown into small areas. Man, I remember riding the Soviet metro. It was definitely a metro. Anyway. And in this part, the only thing you gotta kind of worry about is like making sure you don't get lost. Because if you get lost, then obviously she can catch up to you when the time comes, and she can really mess you up. You gotta find a lockpick though first. And I don't know if every red door in this game is just broken, but I think every red door in this game is just default broken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not sure. It seems like they are, because almost every red door I run into is broken. And then, like, you can't go anywhere else with it because then you know they're broken. Also, shotgun ammo. I will be honest with you, as I play this game, also, I own a Ruger. I own a Ruger just like that one. Although mine is in 22, and it's really nice for just plinking. You know, plinking's just fun, you know, you just get a nice target and just ding, 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 ding. It's kind of nice. The sound it makes is nice to my big ears. But anyway, I think the Ruger is better than the shotgun. I kind of got the impression that the shotgun in this is weirdly ineffective. I don't know if it just doesn't do enough damage or what exactly is going on there, but it really and truly feels like in a lot of cases it's a lot easier to just use the Ruger, because you can also shoot the Ruger really fast. You can't shoot the shotgun very fast in this. You can only do it like somewhat fast, and it's just not the best kind of weapon. I think that they're both fine, and once again, I think the Ruger might be a little too powerful, and we might see that a little bit later on. That I think it just goes through stuff. It goes through a lot of enemies really quickly, and because I have enough ammo that I can just kind of save it up, because like a long portion, like in this area, like what am I fighting? I'm mostly just ignoring things, right? And just trying to you know, like run around them and stuff like that. And you can do that in a rather large portion of this game. You can kind of just ignore the enemies and just you know, not fight them and just run or walk past them. Basically, also, just because I don't think I explained it very well, you have to turn off these 3 power sources in these 3 different areas, and then you gotta run back, and then, you know, once you do that, you'll turn on the lights. Also, here's the lady. Yeah, I think that's like one of the only times I've actually felt like the shotgun was really effective was against her. Because, I mean, you know, that one shot was enough to make her despawn, more or less. Yeah, like, I think, like, the way this guy uses the distorted audio is just really nice. It's very spookified. Very much meant to be like, oh man, don't you want to run away forever? But yeah, you gotta get out of the station before she'll actually stop chasing you and all that stuff. One of the only problems I do have with this game is that I have had a tendency on certain times to just like get like really stuck on some of the well, this is kind of like it was in Lunacid. There's just like certain parts of the environment will just make it like a lot harder. I'll just get like really ultra stuck on them. And yeah. And this is me going back the wrong way because it's not time to go this way yet. Because this is the way back to the train office. But I think I kind of forgot that there had to be 3. I was like, are there just 2? That or I'm just saving. I can't remember yet. But I think it's also very fun because if you get enough ammo in this game, you can almost turn into an action game at certain parts where you just go bang, 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 bang. And I think that's a lot of fun. You can't see it because where my cat head is, but I have total 26 rounds. I have 19, and then there's 7 in the tube magazine. It's kind of fun. These shotguns. So this is a funny little thing about Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 1. They both use the SPAS 12 as their shotgun of choice, and they make it so that you can like right-click to do 2 shots at once. But the SPAS 12 does not have 2 barrels on it, and it can't do that. What it's actually doing is it took the model, and the model has the tube magazine. Because shotguns like this, they have a tube magazine that when you pull back the handle there, right, it pulls back the shell, and then you can take it and like it'll discard the used shell and load in the new one, right? But you see, it's actually taking it from that tube magazine. So that's why when you look at the SPAS 12, it almost looks like there's a barrel underneath the first barrel, but there's not actually another barrel. It's a tube magazine. So yeah, I do think it's kind of funny. I mean, obviously they don't have to know a lot of stuff about guns. I just always think that one's kind of funny. Also, bathrooms. Just where you put your Ruger ammo. Actually, honestly, like looking at those magazines, they might be 22. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do feel like they could be. Also, I would just like to point out that like there's like the toilet paper in there was just like, yeah, like look at that. It's just on the floor next to water. I wouldn't use that toilet paper. I would assume that would give you all kinds of weird fungal rashes of the butthole. That don't sound good. Okay, not all red doors are broken then, because that one wasn't. Also bug. But, yeah, there's just something that's kind of pleasant about, like, decay of, like, big buildings like this. It's just kind of nice. I don't know what it is. Or at least I think it's kind of nice. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. If you ever have gone into like a bunch of abandoned buildings like that, they can actually be like really kind of cool to just like explore and check out places like that. I once worked in a building where on the 2nd floor there was like an abandoned hospital. I mean, the whole thing was a hospital, but for some reason they never fixed the 2nd floor of this place, and it was just like an old abandoned hospital where like there was still like old surgical equipment and things like that around, and you could like find them by just going into certain places and going around. You could also find like there was all kinds of equipment that was still there. There was like a cancer ward that you could see. All kinds of crazy stuff there. But it was like, I think it was like from like the 70s, maybe? It was from a while ago. And it was really kind of interesting just to see the old equipment and stuff they had. Alright, so now we're gonna flip this. That'll turn off the main thing, and then this lady will come to attack us. And she shall be vengeance of woman. Woman vengeance, I will gun. Gun vengeance. But yeah, no, I don't know, you actually need to gun her anymore because I guess turning on the lights kills her, I guess. I think. Oh, also these things, if you find tapes, you can play different tapes. VHS tapes are like a thing in Akuma Kira's other games too, to a certain extent. Like they're a thing in Lunacid, of course. They're a thing in... I think they're a thing in some of those other games. Honestly, I've only played 3 of the games. Also, look, it's the rat train. They're all taking little naps. Isn't that nice? Well, yeah, I've only played the Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, Lost in Vivo, and Lunacid. It took me a second there, even though Lunacid was the one I just played. I don't think... So... There's one thing I will complain about in this game, and we'll get to it in a minute, I guess, is the amount of false stops. The amount of just like nothing really happening and then suddenly being like, oh no, game over actually. But then it's not actually game over. It's just like a moment where like, oh man, you've messed up and now you have no game. No game, no life. No game, no life. Those is the rules. No, as a man named Lyle once said, no game, no hype. Those is the rules. But in this case, it's no game, no life. See, the main protagonist of this game, she just needs to get way more into video games, obviously. If she got way more into video games, then she would be fine. A perfect creature who is full of love, and then this happens. If you turn around, yeah, there's that. And now there's a tunnel. I like the lighting here. Kind of makes you feel like you're going into a place that you shouldn't be going, or like that this is like a long forgotten route. Now, the thing I do find kind of weird about this part of the place is that for some reason, like, it gets like way fancier architecture, and I'm not 100% sure why exactly. I also keep trying to like save as fast as I possibly can and then leave. But you can see that if you try to leave too fast, then like nothing happens. But look how creepy this is. Oh my god, it's so red. So basically what you gotta do is you gotta take this acid and you gotta go put it on the one door. There's a chair behind that wall. I wonder if anybody watches you. Yeah, so you got acid and then you do this. And this is what I was talking about in terms of like the false start. Because you're burning yourself and you turn into goo pile. Right? Oh, that's the game over screen. So now you're like, oh no, what do I actually have to do in that case? But it turns out that's just a false stop, because what actually happens is it's changed the area, and you can even see right there that you can actually see the area, like I'm sorry, the former body right over there. Gross. It's weird that it already has maggots on it. But yeah. And then this is one of... I think this might be one of the only puzzles in this game. Also, for some reason, this thing kept respawning. Which is a little annoying. But yeah, one of the only puzzles in the game is you have to find basically these 3 notes about people dying. Oops. Oh. You have to find the notes about the people dying, and until you find the notes, you can't actually operate that last switch, but once you find the notes, like, it'll let you operate it. So either you know the solution, you can't just skip past it. Also, look, giant cockroach things. I think they were supposed to be trying to hurt me there, but they didn't do a very good job of it, so, you know, it's fine. And now we get to one of the kind of the more interesting, I think, enemies in this game. But yeah, there's a note back here, so you gotta make sure you grab that one. And if you just read it, basically, I think that one's up. But yeah, there's... Oh, also you can whistle at any time in the game, which is kind of fun. Basically, they're just like these, like, front ends of trains that you can, I think you can kill them. I think you just gotta put like a lot of time and ammo into them. They're definitely not worth killing. They're super easy to get past because you just go right here and then they can't follow you from it. Also, I found that they're also kind of easy to break. They harm you by like opening up their big mouths and trying to eat you. But honestly, if it wasn't for how loud they were, Once again, I think they kind of fall more into like the silly category rather than the actually scary category. I just wanted to see if I could attack it like it. It must have like AI to know that it can't just like. Yeah, you can see how fast they can actually move. But they're very easy to break and they're very easy to confuse. And I just don't really think you gotta worry about them too much, really. You saw how easy it was for me to get past them there. But yeah, I think you can technically kill them. Or maybe it's just 2 notes. I don't know. I don't feel good or happy or sad. Yeah. So yeah, the game's about depression and body image stuff. I feel like that goes without saying at this point. Well, actually, no. That not at this point yet. I guess not. Oh no, I can't open it. It's locked. Oh my god, what do I do? And then you walk, and then it opens. Oh my god! And there's blood. Look at the blood. You know. I find it kind of interesting that when I talk to a lot of people who are Christians, they always talk about the blood of Jesus Christ. I'm like, I don't know. I think that Jesus came because he loves us and he wants us to do better and, you know, be kind to one another. I'm not really super focused on the blood part. I understand why they focus on the blood part, but still. Yeah, so it's down, up. It's down, up, and then you just keep turning the other one until it does the right thing. Candy! But it won't let me have... I have a sledgehammer, but it won't let me break it. I was like, oh man, I would eat the crap out of some candy right then. Just nom 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 nom. Tasty, tasty, tasty treats. I was looking around because for a minute there I thought maybe I had to get a third one. I don't think you actually have to give a third one. I keep mentioning a third one, but I don't think this actually is one. I think it's just the first 2. But you can also see I think they're supposed to deliberately... I think they're supposed to... Oh, also, they'll break the fences that separate you and them, like, at this stage. Yeah, like that. Ow. Kind of rude. I kind of think that mailing it back like that may have broken it. But, you know, hey. It's alright. Anyway, so once you have these, also these things respawn. I think later on they're creepier maybe a little bit because I think they get people faces. The mirrors don't respawn, and honestly, the mirrors are probably more dangerous than a lot of the other enemies. Oh. So you gotta go down, up, and then you gotta turn this one. And you just gotta keep turning it basically until it goes to the right position. Then it will unlock the door. I think that's one of the only... That's not really a... I guess it's kind of a puzzle? I don't know. I wouldn't really think of that much of the puzzle. Basically, you just gotta read 2 notes. And one ends looking up, gasping for the sky. And the other one, I don't remember how the other one ends, but it implies looking down. So that's like just all you really got to know to get past that part. Not super difficult. But I'm kind of glad for that. I'm not really super big into puzzles because sometimes puzzles go into a little bit of moon logic. Now, excuse me. Most modern puzzles are not as bad as like if you look at those like old LucasArts adventure games where like the like terms like moon logic were basically coined for those games, where they're just sheer nonsense. They don't make any sense. The combinations and the things you have to do will make no sense at all. And sometimes it's just like a matter of, well, I have these items in my inventory, so I guess I have to interact with these items. You know, it's stuff like that, as opposed to, ooh, the clean tube. I kind of like crawling through the clean tube. It just seems like it's nice, cozy, kind of. Although some people are really claustrophobic and don't like the idea of having... I mean, I don't think this would be super comfortable moving, but then you go into this. This is the much worse tube. I don't know what those are. Like, I keep looking at those and thinking they kind of remind me of like omens in like Elden Ring, you know? But maybe I sit there and I think about omens too much because I... Oh yeah, these are going to be some of the worst enemies in the game for no reason other than like they'll go through walls, and we'll see that in a minute. But they'll do weird stuff. But yeah, I always think of like the omens when I see like those like little weird yellow bulbs on the kind of brownish background. Yeah, these are just like big leech things. They're not difficult to kill, thankfully. But they are a little bit of a pain in the patoot. A patoot pain, if you will. A pain of 3 patoots. Am I ruining the atmosphere? Are you not creeped out? I'm sorry. Ooh, are you scared now? Oh, that's good. Yeah. But yeah, so this area here is where like I get annoyed because like this thing is inside the fucking wall, and it causes, and like I'm just like that's kind of bullshit. You shouldn't have it spawn inside the wall, and it does that every single time. So I don't know if it's actually supposed to spawn inside the wall or what exactly happens there, but I'm assuming that it's supposed to be in the wall. Although all the dead rats, lots of dead rats in really tight hallways. Imagine being in Gary's mod and having horror like this. Could you last? Could you outlast the horror? Yeah, I don't know if that one like spawned behind me or what exactly happened there. But yeah, these guys are a little annoying. Once again, the game isn't particularly hard, so you don't gotta worry about too much. However, in this instance, these little guys are kind of not my favorite to deal with. Now, let me ask you something there. What exactly happened there? Had I been hit? I did see a bit of blood drop, so I must have been hit before that? Now here's the question. When did I save? And then I realized, oh, I saved. I saved after, or I'm sorry, before I did this puzzle, and now I'm just sitting here going, ah, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It sent me back far enough that it added a good chunk to the gameplay. But now, you know, hey, it's not particularly difficult, thankfully. And it's just like, oh man. And once again, I still feel like that felt a little bit like a bullshit. But wait, you have to pick up the pieces of paper. You have to interact with them. Also, this thing won't even let me get past it until I interact. Although it is kind of funny that the rest of the train just disappears after I pick this up. The other thing that's kind of weird is it seems like they're programmed to the, like, if you're running straight at them, they will just go to yeah, see, like they're like going to the opposite side I'm coming from. I'm not 100% sure why that is. But it makes it really easy to get past them. Thankfully, that also wasn't terribly far back. It's far back enough that it's slightly annoying, but like, anyway. And of course, there's only like one thing we actually need to pick up in here because so normally that door over there well, I guess technically two things we want the rear ammo. So technically this door that is locked, I don't even know why I'd go back to look at it again. Oh, I guess to do that. Normally that has the knife in it. You know, once again, you may notice I'm not using the knife. The knife's not bad. It's just that I have a lot more fun just whacking things with the big hammer. Yeah, this is literally all you need to do, and then you just run back and just input that. Down, up, then turn it until it bleeds. And, yeah, as you can also see, this does not take very much time. The train sound is a little annoying, I will grant you that. I will grant you that the train sound is a little bit irritating to have right in your ear. That's a little bit much. But, you know, hey, not that bad. Some games love doing this, like, way too loud stuff. Here's a couple of cockroaches. I don't know where that one was. Anyway. So then we just go into here and we do this real quick. So I guess if you don't go in there and kill the first one, I guess after you grab the notes, it'll spawn another one. So like you can either deal with one or two at once, depending on how you do it. Yeah. And then they all bleed from the neck. I think about going back and saving, and then I'm like, I don't care that much. I think I begin to realize that it's a lot easier to just go back later with a gun and just be willing to spend more of my ammo. Now, but it's also okay because we get a decent amount of rear ammo here. But yeah. The quiet moments I almost feel like are a little bit more tense than the moments of music. Because I feel like one of the problems with like the music is that it tells you that there's definitely something there, or that there's, you know, it just kind of makes it so that you're not like, you can't listen for things. Because when you're like listening and it's just really quiet, any teeny tiny sound, you're like, what the hell is that? But when there's like really loud music going, it's like, I'm not listening for anything. I'm just going, okay, this music is kind of annoying. Because like if I'm trying to play the game, there's just like constant loud music. But you know, in this case, at least the music is good, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, I wish there was a save point right after this, because this takes a little bit. There's a lot of crawling in vents in this game, and I guess it does have like you know, like a slightly claustrophobic feel. But I just keep looking around going, man, what's with these doo-doo pipes? What's with these doo-doo shit pipes that I have to crawl through? These doo-doo feces pipes. And it's like, okay. This is kind of annoying because the things basically are like right on top of you. So the second you can see them, they basically get to hit you. You can be back just far enough though that you can just pop it a couple times with the 22. It really looks like a 22. The magazine is very thin and all that. But I do think you stun them if you hit them once, but only very briefly. I don't really know if you can just like stun lock things into oblivion in this game. It doesn't really feel like it. It feels like it's something I would like to do and like to be able to run up to people and just go whack 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 whack. But it's not something I actually end up doing. Well, actually, that's not true. I frequently go up to people and just start whacking them with a hammer. Hammer whack. The thing that's kind of weird about that lighting there is if you stay at the back of the room, you should have been able to see some of the lighten up type things after that. And those are very weird looking rats if you actually look at them. They don't really look like rats. They almost look more like gerbils a little bit. Yeah. Also, it's kind of fun because if you do shoot the gun, you can see shells on the ground. But I kind of wish I could get a katana in this game and just go like running around and screaming about. Yeah, see, there I gotta be careful because I'm bleeding from the brain head. Yeah, although look at that. That's not a 22. Look at that though. Well, that shell looks huge compared to my gun when I lean down there. But yeah, I don't know. You can't see that there, but I have 78 rounds still of with the Ruger. So you really don't need to be that cautious with ammunition. You get a lot of ammunition, like surprisingly large amount. I think I don't know if it always fails once, but it can fail and then you turn around, and then yeah, it does this a lot where like you turn your back and then suddenly like, oh, you can go forward now, everything's fine. Like, oh no, this one's red. This is there you go there, and it's like, oh no, save erased. Is it a new mechanic? Motherfucker. But yeah, no. You get this thing now, which is also the end boss. And if you go into the nightmare mode, there's like a midnight mode, where like you get to like get a sword and fight weird monsters. The jailers that we saw in Lunacid, basically. I'm just swinging. And then, you know, this shows you the intro again. Your sense of self-worth is too influenced by body shape and weight, and you don't judge others so harshly. You have worth, you have beauty, you're unable to see it. Your vision of yourself is distorted. Then how should I fix it? If I can't fix my body, then how do I fix my vision of myself? We are working together to fix it. But I also write you a refill for your fluoxetine. So fluoxetine is a, pretty sure it's like a low dose antidepressant usually. Yeah, but yeah. Is it sertraline? I don't think so. I think fluoxetine and sertraline are different things. I don't know why. For some reason in my brain I conflate them, but they're not the same thing. But, you know, it's an antidepressant. Now in this place, you could go to the right and be pretty, or you could go to the left and be monster. Now you see, at first I thought, oh, do I want to go to the right and try to say, hey, you're normal, or like you're prettier, or you can be beautiful, but like no, you have to go through the left a bunch of times until you yeah, and then like it gets, I think, a little less distorted. The one on the right gets more distorted each time. I'm not sure if you can get extra stuff if you keep going to the one on the right. I think the one on the right spawns more enemies if you keep going through, and it just doesn't lead to any solution. But you go on the left, yeah, hey, you get some ammo and you get some other things, so that's pretty cool. I personally enjoy having ammo, as you may have noticed by now. Gun cool. Gun cool, me shoot gun coolness. And yeah, now you can see, oh, there's a slightly more realistic but sad looking lady now. Now, I understand what they're going for. I'm guessing they're saying don't put up like a false image, maybe? Is maybe what they're going for there? I don't know. And then you can just go through there and it does nothing. But if you eat apple, oh no, can't until you pukey, and then you're allowed to go forward. So now I talk about, like, obviously a lot of this is like the lady has a terrible body image. Maybe she's a little heavy. Maybe, actually, I don't even know if she's actually like, oh, but you can see the red line. So this is to show that you made the bad choice. I don't necessarily think this is the greatest way to show that you made the wrong choice there. Now, obviously, you shouldn't do it, and then you can realize that once you go, if you just go through, you can just go through. You don't have to like actually go through and deal with the badness. Now, once again, I don't know if you keep going through the red, if you can get more material. You might be able to. But at that point, I would have quite literally maybe even hundreds of rounds of gun, and that might get to be a bit much. Like, I mean, honestly, it already is a bit much. You end up getting quite a lot. Like, see, I just picked up more shotgun ammo. But, something that I don't think I mentioned yet, but, like, so the amount of shotgun ammo you pick up every time you pick up one of those will actually depend on the model itself. Because, sometimes it's just the 6 shells that you can see, and other times it has more. Similar to the Ruger, like, sometimes it's just like a single Ruger magazine, and other times it's multiple magazines. But yeah, this game has like some stuff like this where you gotta like repeat or turn or just do like slightly different things, and then you can take the weird infant, the weird Eraserhead baby. Look, I've never actually seen Eraserhead all the way through. I started watching it at one point and then I didn't finish it. And there's a train, and there's a person. I whistled at the person, but they did not come to me. Kind of mean, if you ask me. I was just trying to give them treatsies. But apparently I'm not allowed to give treatsies anymore to people I meet on the train. Thanks, Kyle. Fucking Kyle. Won't even let me give treats to people on the plane. I'm sorry, the train. Well, plane or the train. But we haven't actually been on the plane for him to tell me no yet, so it's fine. Anyway. And then we have some sad music. Or melancholy music. Do you guys actually feel more melancholy when you listen to music like this as opposed to just like, I don't know, just random music? I don't know. I find that this makes me think of like a big snake going up some stairs. Let's name him Ted. Yeah, Ted's a good name. See, my past self agrees and does a little critchy crotch. So, now we go and we're into a new... I think I paused it for something. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So once again, it's going to be turned down a little bit for you guys. Believe me when I say... Oh. I clicked outside of the game for a second. You can actually still kind of see it going cray-cray in the top. Like left there. I don't remember why. What was I doing here? Okay, wait. Can I think I was taking a short break or doing something, and I maybe totally forgot to edit that out. It's fine. You all love it anyway. It's cool. It's cool, bro. Don't get mad. Just get hugged. And I'll hug you right now, motherfucker. I'll give you all the love I could muster. And all the fluff, too. Anyway. So then there's this guy. Hey, how you doing? Basically, we got to get the 3 things to put into that place, and then we can be cool. And yeah, now I have 128 rounds of Ruger ammo, which I think I can do New Game Plus again. I think I can basically just continuously progress until I have just an absolutely insane amount of ammo. Like, basically just turn myself into a Ruger minigun. Just... Do you like that sound? Some people really like that sound when it's on the A10 Warthog. I'm not a super big fan of that, but like I'm not gonna get into all this stuff with that. I think it seems cool enough, but just not my favorite kind. Anyway, do you guys like mines? I kind of feel like this is like one of the weaker designed areas. I don't know what it is. It's something about like more tunnels, but now we're in a mine. Just feels somehow. Oops. I just kind of feel like I'm supposed to be doing like almost like Warhammer stuff. Like I'm supposed to be a dwarf or something. I don't know what it is. But I always feel like that when I'm like in the mountains or like underground or things like that, and I go underground quite frequently, I keep thinking like, ah, yes, time to dwarf. But now we can see one of the worst enemies in the game. Look, that's not our dog. That's this thing. Now, if you ask me personally, I think ow. I do think ow, but I think this thing just... So then it'll go away, but it's still down here. I personally think that thing is just one of the most annoying enemies in the game, partially because of the noise it makes, and B, because it's just... well, most annoying isn't even the right word. I dislike it the most. I think it's a particularly kind of weak design in comparison to all the other designs we get in the game. I guess they have like a worm thing going on, but like, I don't know. Yeah, once again, like, why are we in a mine? I'll be honest with you, I think, we'll get into this a little bit, but I think this game kind of starts to lose the plot a little bit as we go further along. But we're not quite at the, really kind of worse areas. And once again, it's not fast enough to keep up with me, so if I just move, it's just gone. And then you climb up the ladder. The weird omen looking ladder. And I know it's supposed to be painted brown with then like specks of the paint or whatever have come off. Anyway. So now we take the mine crest. Or the beetle crest. Doing that one thing, just like having crests that you put into a thing to unlock a door, makes it suddenly feel way more like Resident Evil. Anyway. And now we have the mine key, so we have things unlocked, and we just gotta go and get into the areas that we want to go and get into. Basically you just gotta find 3 crests, and once again just run through, and once you get to the area that's like the actual area you're supposed to be, the thing won't follow you in, so you can just get there and you're basically safe if you go in through the door. I ran past the door there, but I probably could have just gone in. And once you... Oop, wrong one. And once you get in there... Yeah, like I said, you're safe. You get the bomb emblem. The thing that's kind of weird is, like, this is a mine. What exactly are they mining for? Or are they just mining things out? They could just be mining out tunnels so that you can put stuff down here. That's also possible. Did you know that they store films and things like that in salt mines? Because it, like, sucks up the moisture so that it doesn't get into the films? You can also see how confident I am with myself because I'm not saving every 5 seconds. Because I'm good like that. I don't keep running back here to save because I've gone through this game a bunch of different times. You should know I'm pretty cool like that. Although I do save here because just in case, if something dumb does happen and I happen to die, it would be really kind of annoying to lose the progress. This is just like the other part of this mine. So you can actually get that one just like going there instead. I don't know why this one has an arrow next to it. Maybe it's like the main or the last area. I do think that the slowly descending down the ladder is also kind of interesting because I could easily see like building up tension with this. I'm trying to remember if I was tense about this the first time I played. I think once I realized, and I realized pretty quickly that you could just run past it, it wasn't particularly frightening. Still, I mean, this is probably like one of the areas of the game where I almost feel like it was maybe not necessary. Although, like I said, the game is pretty short, and if I didn't die and have to go back and do some stuff there, it'd be even shorter. So I guess having like an extra section, it gives it a little bit more length, so that's good. They're all working with the monsters. They're all the monsters. This house is full of monsters. Ouch. Thanks, Jill. But yeah. Once you get the emblem, you can just bounce. I don't... There might be some more ammo down there, maybe. But I mean, honestly, I don't... But it does not want me to leave. Please, I just need someone to touch. Please let me touch your sweet body, baby. But I'm like, ew, that's weird. Don't sing like that. Stop it. Also, there's a map there. You probably don't really need it. I mean... Like I said, very few of these areas are anything but straightforward. I do find this choice of symbols. They're three completely kind of random symbols, it seems. Beetle, bomb, and moon. More ammo. But yeah, see, that gives us more ammo. Now we're at... What are we at here? 145. This is where I think the game gets a little weird. Where this starts to feel a little bit almost like out of left field. And you'll probably see what I mean here in a minute. But as you go in here, suddenly we're in a lab. We're in like a lab, and I'm not 100% sure if this is supposed to represent like anxiety about... like being around medical staff, because it doesn't really seem like that's what they're going for here. It almost feels like this was like a Resident Evil like map that accidentally got put into a Silent Hill game. I think that's might be how I would describe this. It almost feels like it doesn't quite belong with the rest of the stuff, and then I immediately go into the room I just left. I don't think it's the worst ever, but I do personally feel like this kind of breaks like the kind of the flow of everything. Also, like, he uses these rat models a little too often. Although I think it's kind of connected to what happens later on, so it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah. But you can get the doll head. And I cannot turn off this faucet. They're wasting so much water. Don't they know that there's a drought right now? I think we're gonna have to shoot some doctors. But we shouldn't do that, that's rude. They're all dead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But yeah. Now you're not gonna see it yet, but here in just a second. You're making me use a gun. So that would have been at least 3 shotgun blasts to actually kill it. That feels like a lot, especially when I can just use the thing like 3 times and that does it too. This is kind of a neat effect, huh? And then you pick up the picklock set. And then by doing this, we have entered weird spooky realm where now everything's very foggy and spooky. And now have their eyes exposed and they have little tracers coming from their eyes. And they're also, I think they're hairier too. Yeah, see how fast I can shoot that thing? Like, geez. It's great. I love it. But then I'm dumb and I'm like, wait a minute, I picked up the thing and then I remember, oh wait, the doll doesn't give you an eyeball. It just gives you the lockpick set. I don't even know if you, yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm missing on something. That or the damage is inconsistent. Because sometimes it looks like I need like 6 shots to kill him, and then other times like 3. And I don't know why exactly it's like that. But it's not a big deal either way. You open it up, go through. And here we are in the realm of Guy. The Guy realm, if you will. The eyes have been eaten. Not the eyes! Yeah, now I have 158 again, so... this is kind of interesting, because like, once you pick up the body, like, you start going really slow, and then it tells you that it's missing all this log info and all this fun stuff like that. I guess it's written like it's actually a bug, which is kind of cool. Hey. Yeah, I think that was 4. I'm not 100% sure how the damage is working in this game sometimes. Maybe I'm just missing more than I'm realizing on certain occasions. The damage is good. I like it. I like killing with the hammer. But also, you can tell when you're wounded because it'll bleed like that, which is kind of nice because then you should stop and check. Because, look, almost any of the enemies in this game can kill you, and they can kill you pretty quickly if they start landing enough hits. Yeah, like right there, I think I was just missing a bunch of shots as I got too close to it. Yeah, I think you got like 3 hits and then you're, well, maybe not 3, maybe 4. I think it depends. I think each creature is a little different in damage. Although, honestly, they don't seem that different in damage. They seem fairly consistent. If you grab a gun and run through and do damage on monsters, you let me know how consistent that damage is. You let me know if that Ruger does what it's supposed to do. Puppy! We get to be reunited with the puppy for a minute. Who's that good puppy? Bikini? Oh no, the dog got washed down the drain. Okay. That was me rolling my eyes. Because let me ask you something. If you were going through all this to get that dog, would you not, like, immediately the second you see that dog, grab the dog, hold the dog very close and be like, I will now do my darndest to protect? Because I would do all to protect Doggo. I mean, especially if that was like the entire reason I was down here. But you know, hey, it is what it is. Now we need to get another pick lock set. Inventory full, so then you gotta remove the corpse. And then there's the corpse. And it's neat, because you push it down so that his leg would line up with his leg. Aren't you nice like that? Maybe he can reconstruct himself after a reconstructive surgery to his leg bone. Then you go through here. You have more Ruger ammo. You can't go that way. What? Oh my god. I'm sorry, I just think it's silly. Because the way the model is, he still has his legs separated, but he's walking with it. I don't know, it's just weird. But now you get to go and go into the next zone, which is this area. Now this guy is fairly popular. He's a weird design. He go pointy finger. Now what happens though is you turn. Oh no, he moves. So basically what your whole thing here is that you need to get an eyeball. And once that thing starts coming, you don't want to turn your back towards it because it'll move real fast. Honestly, it doesn't move that fast. What I found after going through this for a bit is that, honestly, the thing you have to worry about more is that sometimes if you start going to another room, he'll respawn and he'll spawn right behind you. And that's kind of annoying. But hey, there's a save right here. And once again, do you get what I mean? Like, this just kind of feels like it's a little bit out of left field for what we've already experienced in this game. I feel like spooky sewers and stuff like that is more, and I'm like, why is there a weird refrigerator area? Why are we going through a weird refrigerator area? What's happening? And I guess one could argue that what you're, so you gotta basically go, there's like two meat piles like this. And you gotta search both of them, and then once you search both of them, you'll get the eyeball you need. And I went back and approached that because now you may be saying, wait a second, what happened there? I don't know if I just turned slightly. It's not funny because I can still whistle. But yeah, so this goes on for a second. And the first time you get killed by that thing, it'll just send some rats, and we'll see those rats in a second. I think what happened was, look at the little rat. Those are weird looking rats. Anyway, I think what happened was I was maybe looking too far to the left. And look at his little legs. His little weird pointy legs. And that caused them to spawn different. I'm not actually 100% sure I know exactly how this thing's moving works, because I thought you just had to turn your back to it. But maybe. Also, I can still whistle, which is kind of funny. Oh, but you do get a unique game over screen, so that's kind of cool. Are you into that? I'm into that. I think that's cool and neat, and I like it. I was about to say, and I love feet, but I don't love feet, and that gives the wrong impression. Although it does rhyme. Anyway, so yeah, this, I don't think it's that bad, but I also don't know if it actually works the way I think it does, where it's just if you turn your back. I think he does respawn if you turn your back, but it kind of seems like he doesn't actually move up on you that fast. And if I hadn't have been, what you call it? If I hadn't have been walking backwards, I think I would have been fine. I don't even know if he respawns that fast. It seems like he really doesn't. But yeah, so he moves around and stuff like that, and just ignore him, really. I mean, I guess occasionally look around and make sure if he is there, you can see where he is. And Try not to get grabbited by him. But, yeah, so this whole section, this is basically all you're really dealing with here. And yeah, he does this, and he twists around, he does weird spawning type stuff. There's like implications that this is the result of some weird experiment. But you can read some notes and stuff around to find out more. But it's not really that important to know, I guess. It just seems like, yeah, you stumble from these kind of weird eldritch horrors and this very Silent Hill feel to just wherever the hell this is. Which, I mean, I guess it still feels kind of Silent Hill-y. Silent Hill isn't just like rust and chains and pipes, chain link fences and pipes and things like that. Silent Hill is also like, you know, other things. See, I didn't actually turn my back to him that time and he still respawned. So what's happening here? I don't know. But I found the missing left eye, so that's good. Yeah, and then I saw the arm right as I walked into it. It was kind of funny. There. So it seems like you don't have to turn your back. Oops. It seems like you really don't have to turn your back on this guy to get him to actually respawn, which is kind of annoying. Basically, what I realized is, okay, he just despawns after being there for a little bit, I think is how that works. Or what? That's what I'm realizing now, is that he just despawns after a minute. Because it seems like he just kind of sticks there. And originally I thought it was specifically if you turn your back. I think maybe if you turn your back, he does it faster. But you have to do both piles regardless. And whatever pile you do, also it does change the layout of the boxes after you go through the first time. I still think it's probably a good idea to keep a little bit of an eye on him. Because if you don't, I think he just respawns more often. And then I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna save just in between these, since now I know that there's like, if I do happen to die again because of this silly stuff, I can just immediately go back and just grab the one on the left and get the big thing. The big boy energy. The big boy, the big boy eyeball. It's over here. I do kind of wonder why every single pile of meat in this game has maggots crawling in. I guess it's because it's creepy. But I would think it'd be like more stare. Cause I get the impression this whole area is refrigerated. Like, something about it, like I look at it, it just feels refrigerated. Maybe it's a slight mist. Hi, I have an eyeball now. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the eyeball scene. I feel like I've learned a lot. Thanks for sharing. Is this what you put in your dating profile? And then we get elevator. Still an elevator. Spin, 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 spin to win, spin. And then this is here acting like it's the end of the game. It's not the end of the game. If you could look at that, you can look down at the timer and see it's not the end of the game. So, this is also what I was talking about in the terms of the whole false stop and like false stop and start sort of things. I personally found this just kind of irritating because it's just like, it's just extra time where you're just hanging out in an elevator and then there's credits and they're pretending that the game is over, but it's not, and it's just like, okay. So now we just get to sit here and watch this as credits are going by. Akuma Kira does some great music, and so does Jaron Christ, Mate's Christ, and Nolan Reese. I know for sure that Jaron is in the next game. Or, I'm sorry, not in the next game, but does music for Lunacid, and I think it does. Oh look, I got motion capture! Yay! Isn't that wonderful? I'm a great star. I'm a great big star now. Blood by. Wow. The time is late. Oh no, the music changed. Is it spookoo? Save your rats. And now the elevator starts going down real rapidly. Yeah, but this music is kind of cool. The need for eyes. Look at her rocking out while she vomits. It's unquenchable. Is it unquenchable hunger for eyeballs? Oh my god! Now, see, the unquenchable hunger, I always think it's like isn't it unquenchable thirst? I guess it could be both, because you can, but I guess whenever I hear the term quench, I think more of like, what do you call it? I think more of liquids. I think of liquids. Do you think of liquids? I think of liquids. That's what I think of. And more shotgun ammo, more Ruger ammo. Wait, how much Ruger ammo? We're now at 168 rounds of Ruger ammunition. Does this little office look nice, though? I'd like this little office. I would enjoy that office. Boop, boop. I don't really read most of the notes. Because at this point, excuse me. I just said this way earlier. When I pick up the notes, if you want to read them, you gotta just pause it. Because I don't feel like reading the notes at this point. Maybe you should. Maybe I should. I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world. For definite sure brain. Oh no, it's stuck. Oh no, it's gooey. This door isn't a gooey. This door isn't a graphical user interface. What the hell? And then you get to go here. Water everywhere. At least it's like have like one where I keep going, why is there so much water here in the middle of New Mexico? In the middle of the New Mexico desert, as far as I can tell. Yeah, so basically what you do here is you go up there and you're going to talk to something. Tunnels? Oh yeah, I guess I think I was looking for ammo or something just to see if there was any here. So what you gotta do is you gotta go up to where I walked past a second ago and then figure out if there is or no, I'm sorry, figure out what you gotta do next. It's actually pretty simple. That bridge back there, you'll see shortly what we're actually supposed to do with it and all that. And I didn't know this solution the first time I went through this. And I remember this particular area. And the creature that we encounter ended up taking a long ass time. Basically, it's a stomach, and it just sits there and berates you and says, "You'll never be beautiful. You need me." And it just vomits stupid bullshit at you. Once again, I don't know what's with the cults. To me, this game is kind of more interesting as like a thing where it's like talking about the psychological state of this person, not weird cult stuff. But yeah, so then after you kill that thing, this thing spawns, and if you let it catch up to you, it does definitely hurt a bit, and you can hear it's loud, getting closer and closer. Ow, a little too close there. But what you got to do is get it to come around here. And then you see it kind of ruin the bridge there. And then once it goes into there, it'll get shocked and run away. Also, it doesn't have eyes. It has 3 sets of mouths. Isn't that weird? That's crazy. But yeah, that's all you gotta do to beat this part. Is you do that, and then you kill. You shoot the stomach, then you get this, or you whack it, whatever. You can listen to it talk if you want. All it does is berate her and say that you're not beautiful and not cool. Man, you suck, bro. Bro, you suck. Bro, you're just bad. I hate you, bro. It's basically it's just a lot of that. Yeah. And then there's this guy here.
Do you think you're getting better? Does doing this even have a purpose?
I do kind of want to know why it's English. I don't know if this game is supposed to take place in like an English like a. Oh, also now we get to have dog gameplay. Let's imagine this dog is having a completely normal experience while the rest of this is going on, just chilling, just big chilling. What if I was the banana dog that you always sought after? Man, being a corgi and traveling tunnels. That sounds pretty cool. Oh man, a game where you're like a corgi, but you're like carrying medicine between tunnels and people have to like go in and pet you. And like if you do a good job, they pet you more and they'll take the medicine from you and use it. Man, that's great. New game idea. New game idea. Akuma Kira, call me. Call me. We'll do a corgi game together. We'll level up the corgi game. The corgi game ain't ever gonna be the same after we arrive on the scene. Not me, Jimmy Dean, dude, Dudamus Prime. Dudamus Prime is a pretty good. I like that. I like calling people Dudamus Prime. I've just realized we've learned something today together. Do you feel like you're involved in my learning process now? In my big cat life? Man, a lot of concrete. Apparently Roman concrete is better because I guess there's like little cracks in it that like it's like it has like limestone in it, so when it rains it like reinforces the thing. I'm not gonna try to explain that further. I just realized I kind of like barely remember how it works. Something about cracks, and when it rains, I think the limestone like fixes itself. It's cool. I like it. I'm tired of not having good concrete. Where's our cool concrete? I've been waiting. I've been waiting for ages. Eons even. Wow. This section is longer than I remember it being, but once again, this is not necessarily the worst thing ever. Although I kind of wonder what... I guess it's like a weird Nightmare Realm, Silent Hill-y type deal. Because otherwise I would probably have to ask, like, what exactly is going on here. So then the big angry thing is there. So now at first I paused to think about this, because you see, one of the things about this is I was like, no, wait a minute, is this gonna do something to the dog? Basically, if you don't flip the switch, the monster comes in and kills you. So you have to flip the switch. Just keep that in mind, and it doesn't cause any consequences with the dog. Because I know if you're like me, you're like, well, I don't want to flood the dog. But it ends up being fine. It's perfectly fine, and the pupper will come back, and we will have supper with the pupper. I'm thinking of giving the dog some cool hot dogs. I don't know what I mean by cool hot dogs. Maybe like they have like little bow ties. That's pretty cool. Bow ties are cool, aren't they? Maybe? Or maybe they're terrible. I'm not sure which. I feel like I've met more than one person with a very strong opinion on bow ties. I have. Yeah, that's weird. But it's okay. You're allowed to have your strong opinions on bow ties if you so desire. If the bow ties are what keeps your snows dried, your tried snows, then you know that's how it goes. So this next area is also basically what you got to do is raise this up, get the thing to go through it, and it'll close after a couple seconds, and you got to get it to like get under there while it's closed. Which is a little bit challenging sometimes, but really not the most challenging. It's certainly not the worst. I would highly recommend just running through the first. You get the timing down pretty easily. I think I'm also pretty sure it only takes 2. So you're not going to get it when you get it the first time. You get to do it twice, and then you'll get it. And I think shooting it might help a little, because I think the door does a bunch of damage to it. I think. I'm not 100% on that. But it's time to go through here. And oh, look at that. There's another stomach trying to tell us negative things. I'm your identity. I'm your crutch. So I guess maybe she's also in a shitty relationship, or was in a shitty relationship. Something like that. One of those things. Who knows for real sure whether or not she's in the worst relationship. Maybe she's actually in the best relationship, and she's literally handicapped, and that thing is like actually her crutch. I don't think that's what that means, though. I don't think that's how that works. I'm sorry to have misled you like that. I know. How could you ever forgive me? You can forgive me right now by liking and subscribe. That's so stupid. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there. And I also figure I may as well use the shotgun ammo because I have so much of it. Well, I have so much of both my kinds of ammo, really. I don't really think you need to do a whole heck of a lot here. But you can't go through here. Also, don't worry. Jesus will forgive all of these silly monsters when they come around in a second here, so it's all good. Yeah, he was slightly too far forward to actually get caught in the trap. I thought he was good to go, but not quite. It's okay. I do really like the way the Ruger like has the thing that pops out in the back. Excuse me, the thing that pops out on the back. I think it looks cool. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to shoot it while it's in there to get this to happen. And then this thing will happen. I think you might be able to grab that thing for something later on. I'm not sure. There's something later on that you need an item, and I can only think of 2 things that you would actually be able to put there, but it's quite possible I'm just missing a secret of some sort. A secret tunnel, if you will. Secret tunnel through the mountain. Secret tunnel. Man, Avatar: The Last Airbender is great. I really enjoyed that. Not the new one. I haven't seen anything about the new one other than... People seem to really not like it. I think you just go back now, right? Yeah. You go back to the fancy room. That was all nice looking. There we go. So we've beaten most of the things. Most of the things have been defeated with my big yeeted gun. If you think about it, a gun is actually a yeeter, and it just yeets bullets at things. I think that's pretty impressive if you really stop and if you really stop and think about it. This is like one of the only areas where fall damage might actually be a thing. And I don't know, it might not. I don't think it's actually a thing. But you can kind of go different areas here. You can go to the lit area or the dark area. I think they both lead to the same thing. Oh, if you go there, you'll get the bad ending. Don't do that. If you go there, basically, you leave the dog behind. So don't do that unless... I did that once on accident. That's why I had that ending, and I felt like dog crap right after that. I was like, oh no! My puppy! My puppy! And then I wanted to run back immediately and save the pupper. And I was like, man... Don't do that to me, game. Don't give me that. And make it so that I'm not clear on what's actually happening. I think you can only actually enter into that one, which is why I was sitting there trying to figure out why I couldn't get through. I think you can only enter in through it. Anyway, now we got to go back down here and we got to face the final zone. At least I'm pretty sure it's the final zone. Yeah, I didn't know it's the final zone. Look at that cockroach JPEG. Look at it all. Look. 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 I don't know if there's something you can actually do with this or if you're just allowed to only look. I don't know. It's possible. Akuma has put apparently secrets in a lot of their games. I'm pretty sure Akuma is a male name. A lot of his games? I don't know. I don't know how they identify him. I'm assuming. Yeah, but here now we have cockroaches, but they have like person faces on them. And once again, as with all Akuma Kira games, the music will suddenly get very, 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 very loud. Once again, you don't have to deal with that because I lowered it. But to me, it feels pretty loud. Hey, how you doing? I have so much ammo, I'm just like, ah, screw it, I just want to shoot something. Anyway. And as you crawl through the tunnels, I think that these can actually build up a decent bit of tension just because, like, with enemies all over the place, it does actually start to feel like, you know, you're, like, in, like, legitimate danger because they can get on top of you really quickly and, like, really kill you or do a lot of damage to you really quickly. And that's part of the reason why this area is like kind of creepy. It's like, wow. And I do think that that's like a good thing to have. I think the vent sections are in a sense of actually like making a creepy environment that you're worried about going through. Probably some of the best in the area or in the game. But yeah, see, that's a lot of shotgun ammo right there. And let's see here. Yep. We picked up quite a bit of ammo there. We are now at 54 shotgun shells. And dear Lord, 175 Ruger rounds. So we are definitely maxing, relaxing, and being so cool, shooting some football outside of the school. when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. And then I shot this guy, and then I shot this guy. I'll be honest with you, this entire section, I had a really hard time telling how much damage was actually being done to me with these guys. Although they do make a useful noise so that you always know when they're alive. Did I just see some shotgun ammo back there? I may have. Oh, whatever, it's not a big deal. Hey, how you doing? Did you lock the door? I'll be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea what this is referencing in the game. None. I don't have the faintest clue what this is supposed to represent or not represent, or what, like, I mean, I couldn't go back to it, so I just said a yes. Maybe that takes me out of like a certain ending or something. I don't know. Also, with the way these guys do this weird attack, it's kind of hard to tell what's actually happening, and how much damage, like I said, how much damage am I actually taking, how much damage am I not taking, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to tell. But it's okay because I have me. By me, I mean a sledgehammer. And a sledgehammer is gonna be the spell jammer to our clamor. And by being our spell jammer, I mean we're gonna go into space and be wizards. It would be really fun to just have like an assault rifle in this game. I really like going into like horror games and things like that with like way too overpowered weapons. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, it's kind of like how, like, in Dead Space, when I get, like, the biggest weapons, it's just, like, really funny to me to just, like, overuse them, like, use them, like, way more often than it's probably recommended to use them. It's like, oh, you should save your ammo for boss fights, though. Like, nah, it's way funnier to just, like, go through and then just, like... It's really, it's like, do I need to be worried about these guys at all? Part of me almost feels like I really don't, because it doesn't really seem like they're doing that much damage to me. But then I also see, like, there's blood coming down the screen, and I think that's, yeah, like, see. So I fought 3 there, I got hit a bunch of times, and then they only give me a little bit of bleeding, so I don't know how dangerous these guys actually are. I was thinking if I just sat there and just let myself get hit a bunch, probably vary. And then there's Wigglies. Look at the Wigglies. What is this? I don't know. Wigglies. Do you like Wigglies? I do. I bet you could eat them. I bet they taste like meaty pasta. Very meaty pasta. But then I go here, and I unlock. See, my secret is that I unlock every door I go to and kick my way into it, and then see what's on the other side and go, is this Silent Hill? And then when people say, no, who are you? Please get out of here, Mr. Cat, I go, you can keep your secrets for now, but I'll be back. And you better believe I'll have some secret asking type questions. And then this. Yeah, there's this weird tree that you can go up to and offer a thing to it. It wants something? I have no idea what it wants. But I don't think I have it. I like that it's nice to just tell me I don't think I have it. I don't know what it wants. I don't know what you get in the game, which you could possibly get in the game to throw in there. To throw on the weird mouth tentacle thing. And then I thought, well, could I do something there? But I I do not know. Also, here, look, they made graves. So I think that they make the warning sounds when you're even like remotely close to them or like in their realm of a possible attack. But it's okay because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It took 4 shotgun shells to kill that thing. Although let's just do this, which I think is kind of funny. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. Okay, so there's like a full 10 rounds. I don't know how many rounds that took. Because I don't know, because they have that big hole in their chest. I don't know if you like shoot into that, does that count as actually hitting them or not? Okay, that took probably less than 10 because I probably missed a couple times there. Like, I have no idea if I actually need to go through and kill all these guys. Probably not, honestly. It seems like it's pretty easy to just ignore a lot of them sometimes. Yeah, the music threw me out because I was like, wait, is there one behind me? Where is this? But I was hearing it actually, and it was like way. It was like, or maybe it's from the cockroach. No, I think it's from like a guy. I guess it is just from the cockroaches. Oh well, interesting. I didn't. And then you go this way, and then what happens? Wait a minute. Hold up. A new nightmare. Complete new game plus. I unlocked an achievement. Isn't that cool? And then at first when I got over here, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to climb up that ladder. Where's my puppy? But you can't go back this way and do anything. It's like, oh, I have to go forward. I have to go forward. I was like, oh, what happened? Where's my pupper? But then you climb the ladder, you get off the ladder, and there's a puppy! Yay! Isn't this a great game? Isn't this a wonderful game? Because puppy! Clearly the best game ever because you get puppy for beating it. You defeat game and you get puppy. What a nice time. I'm so happy. I love it. You feel that your experience has changed who you are and that barriers of life once restricted and intimidated you have not fallen away. You've been held back, counter your fears, and gotten stronger. Now you can shoot your shitty boyfriend. Actually, I think the stomach thing is supposed to be like their inner voice type deal. Anyway, we did it. We went through Lost in Vivo. Yay! Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great? I enjoy this game overall. Like I said, it's also pretty short. If I didn't screw up there, it would be even shorter. But hey, it is what it is. I think we had a good time playing that, and I had a good time commenting on it. I like that the dog is Danny. I'm glad that we have Danny Dog. Thanks, Danny Dog. Anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. And remember, you can defeat your demons with a big shotgun. I've seen it. Okay, bye. I love you. God loves you. Bye. Have a great one. Bye. Bye. I love you. Bye. 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 And bye one more time. Bye.